The jungle was alive with strange sounds, heavy air filled with mist, and plants that glowed softly in the dark night. Daniel, a human explorer from Earth, moved carefully through the thick alien forest, his boots pressed against the damp ground. And every step echoed faintly, as if the jungle itself was listening to him. He had been sent on a scouting mission to map this part of the planet. The rest of his team waited by the landing shuttle, but Daniel had volunteered to go ahead alone. He liked the silence, but here the silence felt dangerous. He could not shake the feeling that something was following him. Something hidden just beyond the shadows of the trees. A faint rustle came from his left. Daniel froze. His eyes scanned the thick leaves, but nothing moved. He continued forward, but the rustling came again. Closer, sharper. His heart beat faster. He gripped the small plasma blade at his side. The air was thick with scent. It was sweet and heavy, almost like ripe fruit mixed with iron. Daniel frowned. He knew the smell was not natural. It was alive. It was watching him. Suddenly, a figure appeared ahead. She stepped out from behind a glowing tree. Her skin was pale silver, smooth and strange under the moonlight. Her eyes were large, shining with a green fire. Her hair flowed. Like dark water over her shoulders, she looked young, almost human. But her sharp teeth glimmered when she smiled. Daniel's breath caught in his throat. She was beautiful, but there was danger in every movement. She tilted her head, studying him like a predator examining prey. Her steps were light, graceful, and each one brought her closer. Then she leaned forward, her voice soft but filled with hunger. "You smell delicious. Your flesh must be so tender," she whispered. Daniel's blood ran cold. His grip tightened on his blade, but his body refused to move. Her words were not shouted in anger, but whispered like a secret, as if she was savoring the idea of tasting him. She circled him slowly. Her bare feet left no sound. On the damp ground, her eyes stayed locked on him, glowing in the dim light. Daniel tried to calm himself, tried to speak. I'm not food," he said softly. His voice trembled despite his effort. The alien girl laughed lightly. It was a sound both sweet and cruel. "Not food," she said. "Then what are you, little human? You walk into my forest smelling of fear. And blood, your scent, makes me hungry." Her smile widened, showing sharp white teeth. Daniel stepped back, but she matched his movement with a step forward. He tried again. "I have supplies. Food rations better than me." He reached into his pack slowly, showing no sudden moves. He pulled out a sealed ration pack, holding it out with shaking hands. Her eyes flicked to the ration, then back to him. She leaned in, sniffed the air, and shook her head, weak. She whispered, "Dead food. No life in it. I want flesh that still moves. Flesh that still feels fear." Daniel swallowed hard, sweat forming on his forehead. He realized this was no simple meeting. This was a predator playing with her prey. Yet she did not strike. She kept circling him, her steps slow, her eyes studying every detail of his body. "Your skin looks soft," she murmured. "Your muscles weak but tempting. I could bite your arm first, maybe taste your throat after." She licked her lips. Daniel forced himself to speak again, his voice steadier this time. "If you kill me, you'll get nothing more. But if you let me live, I can show you things, human things." The alien girl stopped. Her eyes narrowed. She tilted her head like a curious animal. "Show me things?" she asked. "What could a small human show me that my people do not already take?" Daniel hesitated. His mind raced. He had no weapon strong enough to fight her. No escape in this thick jungle. His only chance was to keep her curious, keep her interested. He took a deep breath. "Stories," he said. "Knowledge, machines. Fire that can burn without wood. Light that shines brighter than stars." The alien girl blinked. Her smile faded into something else, curiosity. Her sharp teeth still showed. But her eyes softened slightly. She stepped closer, so close Daniel could feel her breath against his skin. It was warm, carrying the same heavy scent of blood and fruit. "You smell even better up close," she whispered. Her voice was almost gentle now. "Maybe I will wait before I eat you." Daniel stood frozen. His heart thundered in his chest. He realized she was not only dangerous, but playful. She enjoyed his fear. But she also enjoyed his words. She leaned back slightly, her glowing eyes never leaving his face. "Walk with me, human," she said. "If you try to run, I will taste." "Your legs first." Daniel nodded slowly. He had no choice. The predator had decided he would live for now. Suspense hung in the air. Each step beside her felt like walking beside death itself. But something inside her gaze hinted at more than hunger, something Daniel could not yet understand. The jungle closed around them, shadows deep and endless. The first encounter had begun. And Daniel knew his fate was now tied to the alien girl who whispered of flesh and hunger. Daniel walked carefully beside the alien girl. His legs felt heavy, every step uncertain. The jungle was alive with distant cries and glowing plants that bent toward the faint moonlight above. Yet the most dangerous creature was right beside him. Smiling with sharp teeth, she moved with grace, her silver skin glistening faintly under the strange sky. Her dark hair swayed as she walked, and her glowing green eyes never left him. She did not hold his arm, but Daniel knew he was trapped. If he tried to run, she would be faster. If he tried to fight, she would be stronger. Her voice broke the silence, soft and teasing. "Tell me, human, do all your kind smell this sweet? Or are you special?" She tilted her head, inhaling again as though his very presence fed her hunger. Daniel forced himself to answer calmly. "I think I'm just normal," he said. "There is nothing special about me." She laughed lightly, and the sound echoed strangely through the jungle. "Normal," she whispered. "If this is normal, then humans must be the sweetest prey in the stars." Her lips curved into a smile. But her eyes held something more than hunger, something Daniel could not name. They continued walking until they reached a small clearing. The trees parted, and the ground was covered with soft moss that glowed faintly blue. The alien girl stopped, turning to face him fully. Her gaze was sharp, and her body language shifted from playful to serious. "Sit," she commanded. Pointing to the moss, Daniel hesitated, but her eyes narrowed, and he obeyed, lowering himself. Slowly onto the glowing ground, she crouched in front of him, her face close to his. Her sharp teeth gleamed, but her expression was unreadable. "Why do you fear me so much?" she asked. "If you believe I will kill you, why not fight, Daniel?" Swallowed, his throat dry. "Because I don't want to die," he said honestly. "And because, maybe you won't kill me." Her eyes widened slightly. She leaned even closer. So close, he could see the strange patterns on her pupils, like swirling fire. "You hope I will spare you," she whispered. Strange, most prey only screams. Daniel forced himself to meet her gaze. "Maybe I'm not prey," he said quietly. The alien girl stared at him for a long time. Then she laughed again, a soft, dangerous laugh. "Not prey," she repeated. Bold words for something so fragile. She reached out suddenly, her fingers brushing against his arm. Her nails were sharp, but she did not cut him. She traced the muscle of his forearm as if testing its strength. "You are weak compared to me," she said softly. "I could break you in moments. I could taste your flesh before you even screamed. Yet you speak as if you are more." Her voice was curious now, less mocking. Daniel's heartbeat was loud in his chest. But he stayed still, because humans have more than strength. He whispered, "We survive with our minds." not just our bodies. Her green eyes glowed brighter. She studied him in silence, as though weighing his words. Then she pulled her hand away and stood gracefully. Her sharp smile returned. "Perhaps you are not boring after all," she said. "Perhaps keeping you alive will amuse me." Relief washed over Daniel, but it was thin and fragile. She had not promised safety, only entertainment. He knew one wrong word could change her decision. Suddenly, the jungle roared with a deep sound, like a beast calling in the distance. Daniel flinched, but the alien girl only smiled. "Another hunter," she said softly, "but you are mine. They will not touch you." Her words sent a shiver down his spine. She spoke as though he were a possession, not a person. Still, he realized she had just claimed him as hers, and strangely, that might have saved his life. She stepped closer again, leaning down so her face hovered inches from his. Her voice was a whisper. "Do not run. Do not scream. Stay close to me, and you might live." Daniel nodded slowly. His body was tense, but his mind was working. If she wanted him alive for now, he needed to understand her. He needed to find out what she truly wanted. They began walking again, moving deeper into the jungle. Daniel noticed how the plants seemed to move away from her, bending as if afraid. Even the smaller creatures hid in silence when she passed. She was not just a predator, she was something feared. Daniel spoke carefully, testing her reaction. "What do I call you?" he asked. "Do you have a name?" Her smile returned, sharper than ever. "You may call me Sarah," she said. "It is the name your tongue can manage." "Sarah," Daniel repeated. The name felt strange but alive on his lips. Her glowing eyes softened for the first time. "Just slightly, yes," she whispered. "Now you are mine, Daniel." His breath caught. She had spoken his name. Though he had never told her, a chill ran through him. She knew more than she should. The alien girl, Sarah, smiled, sharp and mysterious. "Do not look so shocked." "Human," she whispered. "I learn quickly, and I will learn everything about you." Daniel realized then that he was not simply walking with a predator. He was walking with something far more dangerous, an intelligent predator who had chosen to keep him alive. Not out of mercy, but curiosity. The line between predator and friend had blurred. And Daniel knew the game had only just begun. The jungle grew darker as Daniel followed Sarah through winding paths. The glowing plants cast shifting light, but the deeper they went, the more shadows stretched long and heavy. Daniel's every instinct screamed at him to run, but the memory of her sharp teeth and her whispered threats chained his feet. Sarah walked with a predator's calm, every step silent. Her green eyes flickered whenever she looked back at him. Her lips curled in. The faintest smile, not of kindness, but of amusement. She could sense his heartbeat, fast and uneven. And she enjoyed it. Without warning, she stopped. Her body turned sharply. And before Daniel could react, she lunged forward. Her face came close to his neck, her lips almost brushing his skin. Daniel stumbled back, gasping, his hand going instinctively to his blade. Sarah laughed, the sound low and playful. "So easy," she whispered. "Your fear pours from you like sweet perfume. It makes me hungry." Daniel forced himself to steady his breathing. "If you wanted to eat me, you already would have," he said quietly. Her sharp smile widened. "Clever," she murmured. "Yes. I do not want to eat you yet. It is more fun to watch you squirm." She circled him like a predator testing prey. Her movements were slow and deliberate, her eyes never leaving his face. Daniel stood frozen, trying not to flinch, but every time she shifted, his body tensed. She noticed every reaction, every twitch, and her laughter returned. "You humans are strange," Sarah said. "So weak, so fragile, yet you try to be brave. I can see it in your eyes. You fight to hold yourself still, but your body betrays you. Your fear sings louder than your words." Daniel clenched his fists, trying to speak firmly. Fear doesn't mean weakness. Sometimes fear makes us stronger. Her head tilted. Curiosity flashing in her glowing eyes. Stronger, she repeated, tasting the word. Perhaps, but to me, fear is a game, and you, Daniel, are my favorite game. Before he could reply, she moved again, this time vanishing into the shadows. Daniel's eyes darted around. His chest tightened. His hand gripped his blade tightly. He turned in circles, searching for her. Then he felt a breath on the back of his neck. He spun around, but she was already gone. Her laughter echoed. From somewhere unseen, too slow, she whispered. Her voice seemed to come from every direction. Daniel's skin crawled. He took slow steps, his eyes scanning the glowing trees. Every rustle, every sound made his nerves scream. He tried to call out, "Sira, stop this!" But his voice shook. She appeared again, stepping from the shadows, as if she had always been there. Her movements smooth and soundless, her smile sharp. "You beg so quickly," she teased. "Do humans always ask their predators to stop playing?" Daniel exhaled shakily. "Where I come from, games don't end with someone dead." Her laughter was soft, almost mocking. "Oh, but what fun is a game without risk," she whispered. She leaned closer, her voice brushing against his ear. "Do you know how many humans I have seen before you? Do you know how many begged, how many cried?" Daniel's heart dropped, but he forced himself to ask, "And how many survived?" Sira's smile faltered for the briefest second. Her eyes narrowed. "Few," she admitted. "Very few, but none were like you." The words struck him. He swallowed hard. "What makes me different?" he asked quietly. Her glowing eyes studied him in silence. Then she leaned back slightly. "You do not break," she whispered. "You tremble, you sweat, your heart pounds, but you do not collapse. You do not scream, you stand before me and dare to speak. That is why I will keep you." Daniel realized then that the game was not only about fear, it was about endurance. She wanted to see how long he could last before breaking. She stepped closer again, pressing her finger against his chest. Her nail was sharp, but she only traced circles against his shirt. "I could pierce your heart now," she whispered. "I could taste your blood before it cooled, but I will not yet." Daniel forced himself to breathe evenly. "Because you enjoy the chase more than the meal," he said. Her sharp teeth flashed as she smiled. "Yes," she admitted. "You are learning." The silence between them grew heavy. The jungle seemed to lean closer, listening to their dangerous dance. Daniel realized he had to keep her curious, keep her entertained. If she grew bored, his life would end. "I can tell you more about humans," Daniel said quickly. "Things you don't know. Things that will surprise you." Sira's eyes gleamed. "Surprise me," she whispered. "And perhaps I will wait even longer before tasting you." Daniel nodded, his mind racing. He knew this was not friendship, not trust. It was survival. She was still a predator, still dangerous, but for now she had chosen to play with him instead of kill him. Sira leaned close one final time, her lips almost brushing his ear. Her voice was soft. "Dangerous. Do not forget. Daniel, you are still prey, and I am still hungry." Then she stepped back, her sharp smile returning. Her eyes glowed brighter. "But you amuse me, and that is enough for now." Daniel exhaled slowly. His body trembled with relief and fear. The game of fear had only just begun, and he knew he would need every ounce of strength to survive the next move. The night grew colder as Daniel and Sira walked deeper into the jungle. The glowing moss lit their path, but shadows stretched wide, making every corner feel like a trap. Daniel's body ached with exhaustion, yet he dared not slow down. Sira moved gracefully, like a shadow herself, her glowing green eyes guiding the way. After hours of silence, they reached a rocky cliff below it. A small stream shimmered with Silver light, Syrah crouched down to drink, her movements smooth, predatory, even in something so simple. Daniel hesitated before kneeling to drink too. The water was cold and refreshing. But he could not shake the feeling of her eyes watching him. "You humans are clumsy," she said suddenly, her voice breaking the silence. "Every step you take makes noise. Every breath you draw smells of fear." Daniel wiped his mouth, forcing calmness into his words. "Maybe," he said, "but we survive because we don't give up." Syrah tilted her head, her hair sliding across her shoulder like liquid night. "Not giving up," she whispered, "that is something I see in you, Daniel. And it is why you are still alive." Before Daniel could reply, the bushes nearby rustled violently. A pair of glowing yellow eyes appeared. Low to the ground, a creature stepped into view, its body long and muscular, its fangs dripping with venom. The beast hissed, its body coiled like a snake ready to strike. Daniel stumbled back, gripping his blade in panic, but before he could act, Syrah moved. Her body was a blur. She leaped forward with frightening speed, claws extending from her hands. Her sharp teeth flashed as she tore into the beast. The fight was brutal, but short. Her strength was terrifying. Her claws cut deep, and her jaws snapped with deadly precision. Within moments, the predator lay lifeless on the ground. Daniel stood frozen, breathing hard, staring at her. She rose. Slowly, blood dripping from her claws, her glowing eyes locked on him for a terrifying second. Daniel thought she would turn on him next, but instead, she stepped closer. Her voice low and steady. "Do you see, Daniel? Nothing touches you while you are mine." Her words sent a shiver through him, both fear and something strange he could not name. She had just killed a predator for him. She had protected him, not out of kindness, but out of ownership. Daniel swallowed, forcing himself to speak. "Why save me?" he asked quietly. "Why not let it take me?" Her sharp smile returned. "Because you are mine," she whispered. "Only I may decide your fate, not them, not anyone." Daniel's chest tightened. He wanted to argue, to tell her he was not hers, but the words caught in his throat. The way she looked at him, hungry, curious, and strangely protective, made him hesitate. They made camp near the stream. Daniel sat on the glowing moss, trying to rest, but his eyes kept drifting toward Syrah. She sat a short distance away, cleaning the blood from her claws. Her movements were precise, almost elegant. When she finished, she turned her gaze on him. Her eyes glowed faintly in the dark. "You still fear me," she said softly. "Not as a question, but as a fact." Daniel sighed. "Yes," he admitted. "You terrify me." Her lips curved into a faint smile. "Good," she whispered. "Fear keeps you alive. But there is something else in your eyes, not only fear." Daniel met her gaze. Surprised by the sharpness of her words, he hesitated, then said quietly, "Maybe curiosity. Maybe I want to understand you." Her laughter was soft, almost melodic this time. "Understand me," she repeated. "No human has ever spoken like that. Most only beg for their lives. Yet you sit before me, still breathing, still speaking, still daring to look at me." She moved closer, her body low and silent, until she was sitting just a breath away from him, her glowing eyes locked on his. Her voice dropped to a whisper. "Tell me, Daniel, why do you not break?" Daniel forced himself not to look away. "Because if I break, I die," he said, "and because maybe you are more than just a predator." For the first time, Syrah's expression changed. Her sharp smile faded. Her glowing eyes softened. Her head tilted as if she was studying him in a new way. For a moment, the hunger in her gaze flickered with something else, something strange. Then, She leaned closer, inhaling deeply near his neck. Her breath was warm, her voice a whisper. "You smell even better when you speak like that." Daniel's pulse quickened, but he did not pull away. He realized the bond between them was dangerous, fragile, and yet it was forming. She protected him not out of love, but out of a possessive instinct. Yet within that instinct, something else was growing, something neither of them understood. The night passed slowly. Daniel dozed lightly, waking often to see her still watching him. Her glowing eyes never closed. Her body never seemed to tire. She sat like a guardian ant, a predator, both roles bound into one. As the first light of dawn crept through the jungle canopy, Sira whispered words that stayed with him. "Remember, Daniel, you are still prey, but you are my prey, and that makes you more than the rest." Daniel closed his eyes, knowing their bond was both a curse and a fragile shield. A dangerous bond had been formed, and it would decide whether he lived or died in the days to come. The jungle began to thin as the sun rose higher. Daniel followed Sarah closely, his body tired but his mind alert. The air grew heavier with strange scent, smoke, charred meat, and something metallic. It was not the wild any longer. It was something built, something lived in. Sira stopped at the edge of a ridge. Her glowing eyes scanned the land below. Daniel crept up beside her and froze. Below them lay a vast settlement hidden in the jungle. Sharp structures of bone and stone rose like towers. Fires burned in large pits, and alien figures moved between them. They were her people. Daniel's chest tightened. Dozens of them walked the settlement, their silver skin glinting, their glowing eyes bright even in daylight. Their movements were fluid and predatory. Every one of them carried blades of bone or claws sharpened for hunting. And every fire pit smoked with the scent of cooked flesh. Sira's voice was low as she watched. "My tribe," she whispered. "The hunters, the strong, the ones who take what they want." Daniel felt his stomach turn. He did not need to ask what kind of flesh burned in those pits. The thought made his throat dry. She turned her gaze on him, sharp and serious. "Do not speak unless I tell you. Do not meet their eyes for too long. If they see you, if they smell you, they will want you." Daniel swallowed. "And if they want me?" he asked carefully. Her sharp smile returned. "Then I will have to kill them, or they will kill you." The words made his skin crawl, not because she said them, but because she meant them. She was willing to defy her own people for him. They descended quietly, Sira moving like a shadow. Daniel tried to copy her silence, but every step felt heavy. Every sound felt too loud. His heart raced as they entered the outer edge of the settlement. The tribe noticed several glowing eyes turned toward them. Voices rose in curiosity. A group of hunters approached, their claws and teeth flashing in the light. One of them, taller and broader than Sarah, stepped forward. His voice was deep and rough. "Sira," he said, "you return with prey." Daniel froze. The word hit him like a blade. Prey, not guest, not stranger. Prey. Sira's eyes narrowed. She stepped in front of him, her stance low and dangerous. "He is mine," she said firmly. "Touch him, and you answer to me." The tall hunter tilted his head. His sharp teeth gleamed. "Yours," he repeated, tasting the word. "Why would you claim a human? They are meat, they are feast, not mate." The other hunters laughed cruelly, circling closer. Their glowing eyes lingered on Daniel. He felt their stares like knives pressing into his skin. Sira hissed, a sound deep in her throat. Her claws extended slightly, catching the light. "He is mine," she repeated, her voice sharp. "None of you will touch him." The tall hunter stared at her for a long moment, then he laughed, shaking his head. "Strange, Sira," he said. "Always different, always defiant. One day that defiance will kill you." He turned away, the others following him. But their laughter echoed. Their eyes burned with hunger. Daniel knew this was not over. Sira led him quickly into a quieter part of the settlement. Away from the stairs, they entered a small den made of bone and cloth. Inside, the air was cooler, the shadows softer. Daniel sat down heavily, his hands trembling. "They wanted to kill me," he whispered. Sira crouched across from him, her glowing eyes fierce. "Yes," she said simply. "To them, you are meat. A rare delicacy, they would fight to taste you, but I will not let them." Daniel's voice shook. "Why risk yourself for me?" For a moment, her eyes softened. "Because you are mine," she said again, but her voice was quieter this time, almost uncertain. "And because you make me curious." Daniel searched her gaze. "Curious how?" he asked. Sira leaned closer, her voice low. "Humans are fragile. Yet you do not break. You stand in front of predators and still speak. You make my heart restless. You make me wonder what it would mean if I chose to keep you not as prey, but as something more." Her words sent a chill through Daniel. A mix of fear and something deeper. He realized then that her people lived in a culture built on blood, dominance, and hunger, yet Sira was breaking her own rules by protecting him. Outside, the sounds of the tribe grew louder. Laughter, shouts, the crack of bones in the fire. Daniel's body trembled. He knew this place was death for him. Yet his only shield was the predator who had claimed him. Sira's voice cut through his thoughts, firm and sharp. "Do not forget, Daniel, my people will never see you as anything but meat. If they find you alone, you are dead. But as long as you stay with me, you live." Daniel nodded slowly. His chest was tight, his mind heavy. He had walked into the heart of the predator's nest, yet somehow one predator had chosen to shield him. It was not love, not yet, but something more dangerous, a fragile bond born of hunger, curiosity, and defiance, and Daniel knew the deeper he stepped into her world, the more deadly the secrets of her tribe would become. The air in the alien camp grew heavier with each passing hour. Daniel stayed inside the small den Sira had led him to. But every sound outside made his heart pound. He could hear laughter, footsteps, and the tearing of flesh. He smelled smoke from the fire pits, thick with the scent of cooked meat. The reality of what he was among pressed down on him. Sira stood at the entrance, watching the tribe with sharp eyes. Her body was tense, every muscle coiled. She knew what was coming, and so did Daniel. It began when the hunters returned from their feast. Their voices rose in harsh chants. Their glowing eyes burned with hunger and suspicion. The tall hunter who had mocked Sira earlier stepped forward. His presence was commanding, his claws scarred from countless battles. He raised his voice so the entire camp could hear. "Sira brings prey," he called, "and hides him in her den. But prey does not belong to one. Prey belongs to all." A cheer erupted from the tribe. Their voices echoed like thunder. Dozens of glowing eyes turned toward Sira's den. The pressure was unbearable. Daniel felt his throat tighten. Sira stepped forward. Her stance was low, her claws unsheathed. Her voice was sharp. "He is mine. No one touches him." The tall hunter grinned cruelly. "Then prove it," he said. "If he is yours, then share him. Let us taste him. Let us see if his flesh is truly as tender as you claim." The crowd cheered louder, stomping their feet. Their laughter was harsh. The smell of hunger filled the air. Daniel's chest tightened. He understood now this was no simple challenge. This was a test. Sira would have to prove her loyalty to her people. If she refused, she would be seen as weak, as a traitor, and if she gave him up, he would be dead before he could scream. Sira's glowing eyes narrowed. Her sharp smile faded. For a long moment, she stood silent. The tribe grew restless, waiting for her answer. Finally, she spoke. Her voice cold. "You want his flesh?" she said. "You want his blood? Then take it from me." The crowd fell silent. The tall hunter's grin vanished. "What?" he hissed. Sira stepped forward. Her body coiled with fury. "He is mine, and if you want him, you will fight me for him." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Challenge was sacred in their culture. To fight for prey, for dominance, was the law of their people. The tall hunter's eyes burned, but his grin slowly returned. "So be it," he said. "Let us see how strong your claim truly is." The crowd roared with excitement. They formed a wide circle around the clearing. Chanting in harsh voices, their glowing eyes lit the night. Firelight flickered across their silver skin. Daniel stood frozen at the edge. His stomach knotted with dread. He knew what this meant. Sira would fight her own people for him, and if she lost, he would die. The tall hunter stepped into the circle. His claws extended, his teeth bared. His body was larger, stronger. His muscles rippled as he prepared to strike. Sira entered as well, her stance low and precise. Her glowing eyes burned with fire. Her body was smaller, but every movement was sharp and deliberate. The fight began with a roar. The tall hunter lunged, claws slicing the air. Sira dodged with inhuman speed. Her body twisted like water. She struck back. Her claws raking across his arm, blood sprayed. The crowd cheered, but he was powerful. He swung his arm, knocking her back. She slid across the ground, but rose instantly. Her lips curled in a snarl. Her green eyes glowed brighter. Daniel's chest ached as he watched. Every slash, every strike was brutal. The sound of claws against flesh filled the night. Sira's body was fast, but the hunter's strength was overwhelming. He pinned her for a moment, his claws pressing against her throat. The crowd cheered, but Daniel's heart nearly stopped. He wanted to shout, to rush forward. But he knew he would be torn apart before he took 2 steps. Sira's glowing eyes flickered with rage. With sudden force, she twisted, claws slashing across his chest. The hunter howled in pain. Stumbling back, blood poured from his wound. Sira leaped, her teeth flashing. She bit into his shoulder, tearing flesh. The crowd howled with excitement. The hunter swung wildly. But Sira clung to him, clawing, biting. Her body was a storm of fury, with one final strike. She raked her claws across his throat. The hunter collapsed, blood soaking the ground. Silence fell. The tribe stared at Sira, their glowing eyes wide. Slowly, she stood over the fallen hunter, her claws dripping with blood. Her chest heaving, she raised her voice, sharp and powerful. "He is mine. No one touches him." The silence broke. The tribe roared with approval. Their chants shook the air. The law had been answered. She had won. Daniel exhaled shakily. His body trembled with relief and fear. Sira turned toward him, her glowing eyes still fierce, her body stained with blood. She stepped close, her voice low enough only he could hear. "Do you see, Daniel?" she whispered. "I killed my own to keep you. You are not just prey now. You are mine." Daniel's heart pounded. He wanted to speak, to thank her, to protest. But no words came. He realized then that her choice had changed everything. She had defied her tribe, shed blood for him. It was not safety. It was not love. It was something far more dangerous, loyalty bound in blood. The campfire burned low, its smoke curling into the night sky. The crowd slowly broke apart after the battle. But their whispers lingered, glowing eyes watching from the shadows. Sira had killed one of her own, and though she had won by law, Daniel could feel the weight of unease in the air. Inside the den, Daniel sat on the ground, his body tense. He had seen death before, but never like this. Never so close, never so personal. He could still see the tall hunter's blood dripping from Syrah's claws. Still hear his choking cries as he fell. Syrah entered silently, her body scarred from the fight. Her silver skin was smeared with blood that was not hers, her glowing green eyes locked onto Daniel. For a moment, she said nothing, she only stared. At him, her chest rising and falling with heavy breaths. "You live because of me." She whispered finally, "Do you understand what that means?" Daniel swallowed, his throat dry. "Yes," he said softly. "It means you saved me. It means you chose me over your own people." Her sharp smile flickered, but it was weaker now. Almost uncertain, she crouched in front of him, her claws slowly retracting. "I killed him because he wanted to take you from me," she said. "Not because I love you, not because I am kind. Do not mistake me for something I am not." Daniel held her gaze. "Then why keep me alive?" he asked. "Why risk everything for me?" Her eyes narrowed, glowing brighter. She leaned closer, her voice low and intense. "Because you are different, Daniel. You do not break. You do not scream. You face me with fear in your eyes, yet you speak. No prey has ever done that before. You make me feel something I do not understand, and I cannot let it go." Daniel's heart pounded. He knew this was not love as humans understood it, but something primal, something born from hunger and curiosity. Yet he also felt a strange pull toward her, the predator who had chosen to shield him. Suddenly, voices rose outside, harsh and angry. The tribe had gathered again. Their chants filled the air. Syrah's eyes flickered with fury. She rose and stepped to the entrance. Daniel followed cautiously, peering past her. The tribe stood in a half circle, their glowing eyes burning with anger. Another elder stepped forward, her body tall and thin, her claws long and curved. Her voice carried power. "Syrah has defied us," the elder said. "She spills the blood of her own for prey. She chooses weakness over strength. She is no longer one of us." The crowd roared. Their chants shook the ground. They called for blood, for punishment. Daniel's stomach twisted. He looked at Syrah, but she did not flinch. Her eyes burned like fire. Her voice cut through the noise. "I am still stronger than any of you," she said sharply. "I won by your law. I killed by your law. If you want to take him, then come and face me." The tribe hissed and growled, but none stepped forward. Even the elders' glowing eyes narrowed with hesitation. They had seen her strength, her fury. They knew she was dangerous. The elder finally spoke again, her voice sharp, "Then leave. Syrah, leave with your prey. You are no longer of the tribe." The words fell heavy. The crowd murmured, their voices filled with anger, but also satisfaction. Syrah had been cast out. She turned slowly, her glowing eyes finding Daniel's. For the first time, her expression softened fully, without the sharpness of hunger or cruelty. She extended her hand, her voice steady. "Come, Daniel. We walk away together." Daniel hesitated. His mind raced. If he went with her, he left behind the hope of safety with his team. He left behind humans. He would walk into a world of predators with only her to protect him. Yet if he stayed, he would die here tonight, torn apart by the tribe. He looked into her eyes, glowing like fire in the dark, and he saw something, their danger. Yes, but also fierce loyalty. She had chosen him above all else. She had given up her tribe, her home, for him. Slowly, Daniel reached out and took her hand. Her grip was strong, almost crushing, but steady. She pulled him close, her voice low and sharp. "You are mine, Daniel, but you are also more. Together we will see what that means." The tribe parted as they walked away, their glowing eyes watching. Some hissed in anger, others in fear. None dared to strike. The jungle closed around them once more. The fires of the tribe fading behind, Sira walked with purpose. Her claws still stained with blood. Daniel walked beside her, his heart heavy but steady. As they reached the deep shadows of the forest, Sira leaned closer, her voice a whisper. "You still smell delicious, human, but I want more than your flesh." Daniel's breath caught, but he did not pull away. He realized then that his fate was tied to hers, not by chains, but by choice, a dangerous, fragile bond that had defied a whole tribe. And though fear still lived in his heart, another feeling grew beside a spark of trust, a spark of something. Far more dangerous than hunger, the final choice had been made, and there was no turning back.